Global War 36 enthusiast here with Operation GoldenEye, turn 15.6, Italy. It is July 1943. I'd just like to talk about what a great game this has been. Everyone has been very friendly and easygoing. Shout out to Boston Bruce, who is a dream ally. His support here in Eastern Egypt has just been stalwart. Madman Dan, Panzer J, and Knights Templar are focusing on Germany, and I'm feeling the pressure intensifying. Panzer J mentioned in his last video that the game might go another 5 or 6 turns. That is a nightmare scenario for me. I really won't be able to survive it if the game goes that long. I'm praying it ends by turn 19, and I've already sat down and calculated that there's a 58% chance that it will end by then. Panzer J was so smart to withdraw his planes from Normandy. He saw that I was planning to jinx him. That's a tactic where you attack for just one turn, bringing in your anti-aircraft guns, and other units too, but it's really your anti-aircraft guns that come in and then try to kill as many planes as possible and then retreat back to Paris. But Panzer J saw that that's what I was thinking of doing to him and pulled his planes out. But I had another plan underneath that, thinking that if he did see it, then I would just go all hard in on Normandy and kill all those units in Normandy. But he rapid built that fortification there at the same time, so I tip my hat to you, Panzer J. That was really smart. So Panzer J also had a bold attack here in Cyrenaica, where he came in with his planes, and I did hit on the first round and killed his airborne infantry, which was, his cannon fodder, and he had to make a decision about whether or not he wanted to go another round. If he didn't, and the French attacked with just 2 infantry and a cavalry, he would have had 2 at 1 and 1 at 2 versus 1 at 4, and he didn't like those odds. So I really respect that he just said, you know what, I'm going to go for it, and I'm gonna risk a 1/3 chance that I lose a fighter, because I think the strategic gain was really worthwhile there in Cyrenaica, because now he's putting pressure on Western Egypt at the same time that he's pressuring Eastern Egypt from the south with Nubia. So I thought that was a bold move. Okay, Panzer J tried to lend lease to the Free French through the Straits of Gibraltar, but you have to trace a supply path to do lend lease, and to go past the Straits of Gibraltar, you have to be granted permission. If you're at war. If you're neutral, you could do it, but once you're at war, you have to be granted permission by the owner of Gibraltar. At least that's my understanding. And so I do not grant him permission to send that lend-lease through. That means that I have him with a militia in Normandy, and he has 1 extra IPP, so Great Britain really has 40 IPP. Panzer J tried to convoy raid the Rome-Tripoli line. But remember, once Tripoli falls, then that line closes. You can't convoy raid that line because it doesn't exist anymore. So Italy starts the turn with 19 IPP. Panzer J ended turn 14.5 with 8 IPP banked, but then he started 15.5 saying that he had 10 IPP in the bank. I don't know exactly what happened there, and I'm not sure exactly how we're going to resolve it. But basically, I thought he might save his money, and Panzer J, I respect whatever decision you decide to make with your money. You had 8. Maybe I'm wrong, but if right now what I just did is I just saved it, so I have 13 with the Free French. Let me know what we should do with that. In fact, I thought that at the start of this turn, it might be a good idea for us to review where everyone is standing on the IPP chart and how much they have in the bank. Because I noticed that Panzer J had some different levels than I had, and Boston Bruce had some different levels than I had, Madman Dan had some different levels. So let's all get on the same page, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'll just tell you what I have. So Germany starts at 20, plus 7 for France, plus 5 for Denmark, Netherlands, Belgium, plus 4 for Austria, Bohemia, Slovakia, plus 6 for Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, plus 3 for Yugoslavia, plus 3 for Poland, plus 1 for Lithuania, plus 3 for Finland, plus 8 for Soviet territory, So I have Germany sitting right at 60. Vichy has 4, and so if you track them together, you don't track them separately, then you'd have Germany at 64. I have Germany with 84 in the bank. USSR starts at 46. They're up 2 for Iraq and 1 for Azerbaijan. They're down 3 for for Japanese possessed Soviet territory, and down 8 for German possessed Soviet territory. So that knocks them down to 38 IPP. USSR has 58 banked. CCP's at 2 for Shenxi and 4 banked. Japan starts at 16, plus 1 for Transjordan, plus 2 for southern Iran, plus 9 for India, plus 3 for Anna Tonkin, Cochin China and Siam, plus 9 for the Dutch East Indies, plus 1 for Sarawak, plus 1 for New Guinea, plus 2 for the Philippines, plus 13 for Chinese territory, plus 2 for Mongolia, plus 3 for Soviet territory, minus 1 for the Marshall Islands. That puts Boston Bruce at 61. Japan has 79 banked. Great Britain starts at 25, plus 2 for France, plus 1 for Italian Somaliland, plus 1 for Belgian Congo, minus 2 for Egypt, minus 1 for Transjordan. That puts them at 26. The Dutch have 1 for Suriname, so if you don't track the Dutch separately, then Great Britain's at 27. Great Britain has 40 IPP banked. Anzac starts at 7, minus 1 for New Guinea, so they're at 6. Anzac has 11 banked. FEC is at 2 for British Malaya, they have 2 banked. Free France has 5 on the IPP chart, and I don't know exactly how we're going to handle that, but I have them with 13 banked. Italy starts at 10, plus 2 for Egypt, and minus 3 for all original African Italian territory captured, so they're at 9. The Italians start this turn with 19. USA starts with 63, plus 1 for Mexico, plus 3 for Brazil, plus 1 for the Marshall Islands, plus 2 for Spain, minus 2 for the Philippines, so that puts them at 68 with 86 banked. KMT has 3 for Yunnan and Hong Kong, and they have 3 banked. Okay, tech rolls. Italy is going to roll 1 tech roll for long-range aircraft. Okay, I rolled a 1. All right. Purchases. Let's move the camera around. All right, zoom in on this. So I'm going to get 3, I have 19, 3 militia for 6. I'm going to begin construction of an airbase for 2, that's 8. I'm going to rapid build an airbase for 6. That's 14. I'm going to begin construction of a fortification on the border of eastern Egypt and Nubia for 4, so that's 18. And that means I'll save 1 with Italy. The rapid build airbase is going to go in eastern Egypt, and I'm going to begin construction of the airbase in Gibraltar. Combat movement. I'm only going to do one thing. I'm going to take this jet from eastern Egypt and go 1-2. I'm going to do Panzer J's attack. And I teed it all up on PBE to see what happens. So round 1, the jet needs to roll an 8, and it rolled a 2. The cavalry needs to roll a 2, and it rolled a 6. So I did kill that Russian cavalry, decided that Panzer J's right, we're getting to the end of the game, some bold moves need to be made. So I'm relieved. I know there's only a 1 in 6 chance of losing the jet, but still, you don't want to do that. The jet will return and land in eastern Egypt. Non-combat movement. I'm going to have this transport here. We'll pick up, we'll fly to Rome, pick up an infantry. That's 1, 2. Then it'll fly over to Gibraltar, 3, 4. And then it's got 7, so it'll go Mediterranean, or it'll go Sea Zone 80, Sea Zone 50, and land back in northern Italy. So that'll give me another infantry in Gibraltar. It's so easy to just have a total catastrophe when you have this many various units and knock them over and you can't remember what was where. Okay, Then I'm going to have this mountain infantry will move into Gibraltar. So I'll have 3 mountain. That's it for my non-combat movement. And then placement of units. So I've got 3 militia to place. 1 militia is going to go into Gibraltar. Let's pull back here and zoom out a bit so we can see what's getting placed where. Okay, so I'll have 1 militia in Gibraltar. And I'll go over my disposition of units at the end of this turn. 1 militia is going to go into Western Egypt. And 1 militia is going to go into Eastern Egypt. Okay. And then I'm going to begin construction of an air base in Gibraltar. I'll put this on the production chart. And I'm going to rapid build an air base here in Eastern Egypt. Okay, and then I'm going to begin construction of a fortification on the border between Eastern Egypt and Nubia. All right, and I saved 1 IPP with Italy. Okay, collect income. Italy's only at 9, but they do get 2 for Gibraltar and 2 for the Suez. They have that 1 that they saved, so they end the turn with 14 IPP. Next up is Knights Templar with turn 15.7, USA. The moment I turn off the camera, I realize that I need to do the disposition of my forces. So, in Gibraltar, I have 4 militia, 4 Italian infantry, 1 Italian Marines, 3 Italian mountain infantry, 1 Italian artillery, got that fortification, got the Italian anti-aircraft gun, 2 German infantry, 1 Italian SNLF. In northern Italy, I have 3 militia, 1 infantry. Sorry that I wasn't pointing my pointer earlier at Gibraltar. 1 air transport. In Rome, I have 5 militia and 1 infantry. In Mezzogiorno, I have 1 infantry. In Tobruk, I have 1 militia. In Western Egypt, I have 1 militia. In Egypt, I have 2 Italian militia, 1 German airborne infantry, 1 Italian infantry, 1 Japanese infantry, 1 German infantry. That's so cool. All 3 axis. I bet that's pretty rare to have 3 different infantry from each axis power. 1 German strategic bomber, 1 Japanese air transport, 3 Japanese fighters, 1 Italian jet fighter. I think that is it for disposition of Italian units.